Hello and welcome to Kidder Farms. We're back with another episode of Flint Hills by JS Mapping. And last time we actually did a bit of a live stream for some of the harvest here. And so we left things in a little bit of a hectic state. A lot of equipment is in odd spots. We had some trouble trying to figure out where to store all of our grain. And so we've got a lot of that worked out here. And I'm just now trying to get our combines back on course. We ended the live stream with a little bit of a headache with some of our combines going in a really awkward direction. And so we're actually getting hung up a little bit here. And so what I wanted to do was go ahead and see if we could fix these courses, get the combines back where they need to be. And then once we get that sorted out, we're going to go take another look at our silo system, and I think I've resolved the issues with being able to put corn into our silos that we bought that are way over there on the other farm. So we're going to be taking a look at all that here in a little bit, but first we're going to head down here and just manually unload this combine one time, because I do want to get him going. And in fact, I think we're going to use the other tractor because it's a little bit faster, and I just want to get the combines moving so that at least this one combine moving so that we can fix the fact that our combines got out of sync with each other. At some point we got a couple of spots that we missed when Courseplay got a little distracted, and so we're gonna have to come back and clean some of these areas up too as well at some point. But honestly, we made a lot of progress on harvest last episode, and so this cornfield doesn't have that much left to it. We're going to hopefully be able to knock this out today, I think, because these are pretty short rows. So it looks like our combine got about a full round behind here, and so this combine should be the second combine. He should be following the other guy on his right-hand side, so we're going to go ahead and empty this combine all the way to the end row here, and then he'll be able to flip around and come back down, and at that point we should be able to start the lead combine off and have them follow in convoy mode again. This is not as bad as I thought it was. I thought we were a lot further behind and had some things that we were going to have to correct with the course, but it looks like everything's in a pretty good spot. We are yielding really good corn in this field. I think we're getting about 220 bushels an acre right here, but we've definitely seen even higher yield results in different parts of the field. Now I'm going to go ahead and start this guy off because he should be able to start going, and with convoy mode enabled, he's properly detecting that he's in front of our other combine here. And so he's going to keep moving forward here, and it looks like our other combine is going somewhere crazy again. I don't understand where he's trying to get to. It looks like at some point these combines get a little bit confused on the headlands, and he's switched into following a headland path now as opposed to the path that he was supposed to turn down to and start harvesting. And so I don't actually know what's causing that, but it just looks like right up here when he was supposed to turn and start coming down this way, he got onto the headland path instead. So I don't know. We're going to just go ahead and start him back off here. Hopefully he can manage to stay on his course now. If he hops off again, I'm hoping we notice. But either way, we do have both combines going here again. I am going to not yet set up our overloader courses, which means these combines are going to stop here in just a couple of minutes. But I want to make sure that this following combine gets a chance to catch up, so I do want that guy to pause for a moment here. And we're going to try and use AutoDrive to unload the combines here shortly. I've been tweaking some of the settings in AutoDrive, and after discovering in my Royalton series the other day that you can unload on the go for a forage harvester, I looked into whether or not it'd be possible to do that for a combine, and unloading on the go didn't really seem to work. It seemed to expect that the combine was stopped, and the tractor would just pull up with the cab of the tractor under the auger. But I've been able to go in and make some changes to AutoDrive here, so we're going to give it a shot, see if it works. If it does, I might put together a video at some point showing how to make some changes to AutoDrive to get grain carts unloading on the go. The really cool part about it is if it works, you don't have to have a helper drive the combine. You can have you can drive it yourself as a player, and the unloader grain cart guys will come out and unload you while you're driving. So that's going to be a game changer for me, especially on smaller maps where I want to drive the combine myself. So we'll see if we can get that working this episode. So we're back up here in the yard, and we've gone ahead and picked up a 6R for the farm. I've been going back and forth about getting some more equipment on the farm here, and really, we kept running into a need to have another tractor to put on something here. This is going to help us out, give us something to put on the other bagger here right now while we're working on stuff, and do a little bit less swapping back and forth on equipment, which I think is going to save us a lot of time. And really, we just kept running into a need for just another, not large tractor, but something, small to medium sized. And so this is going to be big enough to do a few different things for us. But right now, primarily, it's going to help us run one of these baggers so that we can keep filling grain. Now, I've been running this auger wagon here. Not a huge fan of this Stara trailer, but it's the only auger wagon I could find that would fit into our current grain setup to move some of this dry corn in and out of the silo system. So we probably need to find a better auger setup. I was really disappointed you can't actually use this Brandt auger to directly fill corn out of a truck. We played around with that quite a bit, and so that was a surprise to me. I kind of thought it worked like a normal belter auger, but it doesn't. And so ideally we would probably get another small to medium auger type setup here to help us do some of these things at some point. I just haven't found a really good mod for that, so would love to see some more just normal auger type mods that aren't huge. Most of the mods that I have are really large augers for filling grain bins and stuff. So if anybody knows of a good smaller auger that you could use for things like unloading a truck and putting things in and out of trailers and stuff into something else, let me know, because we'd probably set something like that up. Because right now we're in this weird situation where I have this gravity bin here full of dry corn. I don't have anywhere to put it except into these bags, and so I'm putting dry corn into these bags here, but I can't put it back into the silo directly because Global Company doesn't allow that, or at least not the way these bins are set up. And I don't have an auger that can accept this out, so I guess I could dump it on the ground and scoop it up with our bucket, but that seems like a little bit of a hassle. So I think what we're going to do is finish filling up this bag with dry corn, and then we've got a bag and a half of wet corn over here, so we'll probably finish filling this bag up with wet corn because we're going to need this for pig feed at some point. And then we'll put some wet corn into our pig feed system over here because I think that these silos have a fairly good capacity. I don't recall exactly what that capacity is. And then with all of that extra grain kind of put places, I'm hoping we're going to be able to let our dryer keep up here. So you can see if I actually come stand up here, I'll get to pop up in the lower right-hand corner as well. We've got 832,000 liters of dry corn and 864,000 liters of wet corn right now. So the dryer's running. We've got some capacity. That's about 300,000 capacity. And I think what I just talked about over there is another 300,000 to 500,000 in capacity. I don't think we're going to have enough to finish our cornfield, but it might be close. So we're going to give it a shot. Now, what I want to do, though, is get the combines moving here. And so in order to do that, we're going to start out by attempting to set up an AutoDrive course to do this. And so the way we're going to do that is to close out of course play. We're going to bring up our AutoDrive menu, and I'm going to create a separate AutoDrive network here, I think, for unloading right now is what I want to do. And normally I would add on to an existing AutoDrive network, but I think for what we're trying to do here, it's going to make more sense for us to create a new network that's just for our unloader and not have them interact. So we're going to see how this goes. We are technically attached to this point here, so I'm curious if I start recording, it is going to create a new network for me. It's not going to have those points be automatically connected, which is good. And we're going to come right up here alongside this semi, something like this. And I'm going to pull forward a ways, and then I'm going to put field 21 unload here. And then we're going to come back out here, and I'm going to drive into the field, actually. I'm going to spin around because we're way down on the other side here, so I really don't want him to stop there and try to find a course. I want him to come and head back out here and kind of point towards the part of the field that's left. And I'm going to do something like this that says field 21 find combine, and then we're going to spin right back around here like so, and stop recording. And I'm going to back up out of my way here, and we're going to connect, whoops, we're going to connect to this point so the arrow's going the right way. And then I'm just going to drag these out a little bit to get us a smoother course. And then all we've got to do is close out of the edit mode. We're going to change into unload combine mode. And I'm going to say that I want to use field 21. Field 21 find combine is my destination. My unload point is field 21 unload. And I'm going to tell this guy to go ahead and get started. And because he's on the field already, he's just going to sit here and wait until a combine calls for him. And so let's go ahead and jump down here into a combine. And in order to get this working, all we should have to do is open up AutoDrive and select the appropriate point here. We're going to select find field 21 find combine because that's what the other grain cart is set up with. And this should allow that grain cart to now pathfind out to find us. Now AutoDrive is going to make an attempt to pathfind around the corn. I'm just going to come in here and double check our settings. I've got the pathfinding factor turned up because it's a pretty big field, and I want the combine to kind of work on the pathfinding early on. And then if I come in here, I just want to make sure we do have the avoid fruit option selected. So hopefully this is going to make it just a little bit more realistic in that, you know, they are going to try to avoid the fruit. Hopefully they'll try to avoid the other workers and such. And so I'm just going to follow this guy along here to see how he behaves. And then as long as this AutoDrive unloader is working, I'll go ahead and get the other combine set up to do this as well. And we'll see what happens when I put a second unloader on the same course. What I like most about using AutoDrive to do this right now is that I'm not seeing the huge FPS hits from pathfinding with AutoDrive that I see with Courseplay. So when Courseplay tries to find a course, it takes my frames down to about 10 for, you know, a good 10 to 20 seconds at times, where AutoDrive, I didn't really notice a substantial drop in my frame rate at any point during the pathfinding exercise here. So I think this is going to work pretty well. And as you can see here, the only downside to using AutoDrive to unload like this is that he won't unload the combine while the combine is moving. And I think that part of that is because AutoDrive or Courseplay is set up to stay at the same point when using AutoDrive for unloading. And so, unfortunately, this leads to longer times where Courseplay would have unloaded on the go there. AutoDrive seems to be a lot better at doing that dynamically. So we're going to let that guy go. But what I want to show off now is that with some small changes to AutoDrive, I've been able to get this working, I think, to the point where if I come in here and I turn off Courseplay for a moment, and we bring up AutoDrive, I can set this AutoDrive point to field 21 find combine, which is what my driver over here is on. And now he's going to come over here and attempt to unload me. And now that he's here and actively unloading my combine, I'm going to be able to start this combine up and actually start harvesting here again. And AutoDrive is going to do its best effort to actually keep up with the combine and unload me on the go. And now I am not currently using Courseplay at all. In fact, you can see that by if I just turn to the left a little bit, turn to the right, like I don't want to miss a bunch of corn, but I'm actually driving this combine and AutoDrive is unloading me on the go. And so this is something that I know a ton of people have asked for with Courseplay, which is to have a unloader show up to unload you when you're actually the one driving the combine. And so being able to do this for normal grain unloading is honestly a huge deal. And so I did have to make some changes to the AutoDrive pathing mechanism here and modified the calculation for where the grain cart shows up and how far forward it pulls when it's chasing the combine before it's actually ready to be unloaded. And so like I said, the way that it's designed right now, it's designed to unload you at a stop for grain. But with some small changes, I've been able to get that going so that he'll actually follow me if I need to be unloaded and my pipe is out. And that works actually really cool. So, I'm kind of excited about that. So yeah, these are some interesting experiments, seeing how AutoDrive is going to work here. I'm curious to see if now that guy's there and he's not full, if he'll unload on the go or not. I think in order to get this to work correctly, because I see him putting out his pipe and then he puts his pipe back in as soon as the guy comes up underneath him. I think what we need to do is turn on the setting to have the pipe always out. And I think that's going to make it easier for AutoDrive to figure out where the unload point needs to be. Because the way that I've modified AutoDrive is to look for the output of the pipe and line up with that. So let's just turn this on. Always unfold pipe is active. Let's do this. I think I need to actually have it out first in order for it to actually work, though. Nope. Weird. I would have thought that always unfold pipe would have meant that the pipe was always unfolded. So this is going to continue to be one of those things where I feel like AutoDrive is just not as efficient at the unloading process, since combines do need to be stopped to be unloaded with AutoDrive. But it is a lot more friendly on the computer from a pathfinding perspective, and so as always, there's trade-offs. Now for this guy, I'm not going to dump into this semi. Instead, we're going to take this up there and see if we can top off that grain bag that we have up in the yard. Because I do want to get this wet corn bag filled so that we know that we're kind of done with that. And we've got 2 full bags set aside there for feed. And so we're going to just do that here real quick. And as long as we're up in the yard, we'll be able to also do one more load of the dry corn with the other tractor here. just to see if we can top off this other bag. I think we've probably got a couple more loads with this thing to go, though, because this thing isn't the largest auger wagon by any stretch. If I could easily use a larger one of the grain carts, I would, but unfortunately, this is the only thing that fits in here, and that's just barely. So if we just take a quick look at the readout here, we're keeping up with the dryer. It's not drying faster than I'm getting some of this dry corn out of here, I think. So I think we're in a good spot from where we want to be on getting corn into this bin and getting things dried. I'm really just hoping we've got enough storage. We can always get more bags, I suppose, but I'm kind of hoping to keep the amount of bags that we've got out here to these 4, if possible, but we'll see how things continue to develop here. So we'll let this guy unload. We'll come over here and bring this guy back out to the field. Now, I'm thinking I'm not the biggest fan of how much downtime we're having on our combines right now, waiting for that one guy to unload. I know I could realistically get this guy on with AutoDrive, and then at least we'd only have them stopped when they're unloading rather than right now, which I think that he's waiting for somebody to drive to him. But I really think we're going to just get course play going again here because course play is just going to be a little bit more efficient here for what we're trying to do. So let's get here, let's say drive course. I'm not sure which of the combines I just set him up with, the first one. And so he's going to be good to go there. And then we're going to just run over here and grab the other grain cart and do the same thing with him and see if we can get him going on the other combine here shortly. We're going to go ahead and turn AutoDrive off so this guy will get started. I think this other combine's coming in behind us, and I think that's the lead combine. And I think he's trying to start his next path off here. And so this combine that we're unloading right now is a full pass behind. And so we just need to keep him moving, keep him out of the way. And the little bit of frame drops you're seeing here is the to be expected course play pathfinding from the other grain cart trying to find his way to come out to this combine. So like I said, the major advantage of AutoDrive seems to be that its pathfinding is not quite as difficult on the PC. And then we're going to take this guy back up to the farm and do the same thing. I want to get that wet bag filled, and I'm hoping that this is going to top it off here and allow us to put him back on a course play course as well and get focused on moving some of this grain around up by the bins and get that squared away, because I think course play is going to just pretty much run in this field at this point once we get the second grain cart back out here and operational. All right, it looks like we've topped off this bag, and the bagger's got quite a bit left in it as well, unfortunately. Not sure what we're going to do about that. I'm sure there's a way to unload it somehow. But what we are going to do is take this little bit that we've got left in the auger wagon here, auger cart, and I'm going to whip around here in the yard, and we're going to try and dump this into the pig feed setup here and see if this will take the corn directly. And I'm kind of curious how much this is going to hold. I don't know what the capacity of these silos are. I guess I could go look. Let me get this pulled up, though, to a point where it can start unloading. And then we'll jump into the store here. And I think it's in here. Yeah, it doesn't say what it's going to hold. So we're going to just put some corn in there and see how much it'll take. So I think the next couple of auger wagons here we're going to do this with, and we'll just see how it goes. Alright, so we have found our way out to the combine here and going to start getting him unloaded. Our trailing combine is right behind us there in vehicle convoy mode, waiting patiently to get going again here. So I think with both of these guys out here now, we'll be able to keep these combines moving for just a bit on their own. And I'm going to run back up here to the yard, and we're going to keep sorting out some of this grain, get these bags topped off. All right, so it looks like we've got probably a couple more loads of dry corn that we're going to need to put in here. This bag is slowly inching its way down to the same length as the other one here. But I really don't think this one's going to fill it up, so we'll keep plugging away here while our combines are harvesting. I am going to need to get the trucks moving again here at some point. I think what I'm going to do, though, actually, while this unloads, is rather than have the overloaders fill up these semis right now, I'm going to move both of these semis out of the way. I'm going to put the 9RT with the grain cart here at the fill point for AutoDrive, and just let the grain carts fill him up so that I'm then able to take that and go fill the pig food up with it. And that's a big enough cart that we should be able to hold like 1.5 of the grain carts here. So that's going to be, I think, the most optimal option for us. And so I'm going to whip around here and put our low side, I think we've got a low side, yeah, facing the other guys. And so I just need to get edit mode on so I know where that point is actually. And I've got to imagine somewhere in here is going to be okay. And then let's go figure out what courseplay got into for trouble. Whoa. Just a whoa. Alright, so it looks like we were heading over here to open up the new section and just clipped into the ditch there. And so we're going to go ahead and start this guy off manually here and see if we can get him started without running into too many problems. Looks like he's good to go. And then we're just going to run back here and do the same with the other combine before he makes poor decisions as well. Alright, it looks like we've got both of these combines here unloading. The one in the front is cutting through here, so he had to create some space to unload himself, but that's okay. Looks like all is going according to plan down here. Now, this is the part of the map that we tend to have the most problems with courseplay. Specifically because as it does its rounds, it tries to run into the fences as it cuts into a new part of the field. So hopefully this pathfinding mode is going to help us stay out of the fences. We'll find out. But either way, we're making really good progress here on this field. And it looks like we've got courseplay pretty dialed in at this point. So I'm not too worried about it. If we have a few minor hang-ups, so be it. And so at this point, I'm just waiting for these two grain carts to go unload into our larger grain cart up there in the staging area so that we can finish topping off some of the grain around the farm here. I guess while we wait, we're just going to keep doing what we've been doing, which is filling this dry grain bag one little auger wagon at a time. And we're just about done. This should be the last load, I think, for this, based on how it's been going. And so we're just going to top that off, and then I guess we should look at the pig feed situation here at some point as well. Now, we've got this automated system set up to be feeding our pigs, so I'm kind of curious to see how it's working, especially now that we've had a number of additional pigs grow in here. And so I'm going to step up here and fill our water. And at some point we need to fill the, or clean up the pig feed here. But if I bring up the menu and look at pigs, you can see we're not quite keeping up with the feed. We're not out, but we're definitely not where I want to be. And so let's walk over here to the control panels. for each, and it looks like at 10 a.m. I'm dumping 2,000 liters into here. So let's go ahead and add a new one and say at 1,400 hours, we're going to try and dump an additional 2,000 liters in here. And I think that's all we have to do. Actually, let's do it at 1,300 hours because we're at 12:20 right now, and I want to make sure that we get a chance to see this. And so that's the one we just did. I think I got to step over here a smidge. We'll do the same thing. And so this will be interesting to see how that goes because we definitely have enough in these different things. We are storing extra corn here, but I do want to start bringing the other grain types in here ourselves. I think to start there, we just filled that with pig feed originally. So, and Courseplay is of course freaking out on something over here. One of the combines is in traffic, it looks like. And so as soon as we get this dry corn unloading here again, we're gonna go see what it's complaining about. I strongly suspect that we've run into the fence. Oh, it looks like one of our grain carts tried to get out of the way potentially and got stuck here. Now we're going to stop driver, and of course this is going to just destroy a whole bunch of corn. I wish Courseplay would give me just a second to get out of the way here. Oh my goodness. Come on, Courseplay, you can do it. Let me go. Alright, looks like we're going to have to deal with this combine. There we go. It's always troublesome getting the fields opened up for the first time because there isn't a lot of room for the grain carts to move back and forth in between here, and so I feel like we always tend to run into our issues on the pass where we're trying to open things up a bit. And so I'm going to go ahead and try and unload this guy a little bit here as we come up to this other tractor. And hopefully that gives him just enough leeway to sneak around here. And then we can start this guy right back off on the other side of this unloader and not have so many issues. We just didn't make it, but he'll start going again as soon as we start unloading here. And so we've got both of these combines are just filling up so fast. It's fascinating to me to see everything running so smoothly, all things considered. I do wish this is how smoothly things had run during our live stream, but I guess that was part of the fun the other day, is just seeing what kind of problems we run into and dealing with them on the fly. So this grain cart is going to be full here on this unload, which is going to let us see if we've got our other grain cart in the right spot at the unload point here. And hopefully we're going to be able to top off that pig feed structure with these 2 loads of corn. It'd be nice to just kind of mentally be done with putting corn in extra places and see how far our silo systems are going to get us. So I know this grain cart is full. I want to hop out here and check and see how full we're getting in this other grain cart. It looks like we're getting pretty full, 93%. And so what I'm going to do, it looks like he's stopped here and kind of in the way. I'm going to turn Courseplay off here and get this guy out of the way so that well, I was hoping so that this guy behind us could go do his thing, but looks like he's getting a mite confused, seriously. Just to keep tracking me down. I don't think he's trying to unload this guy. I think he's just trying to get out of here to the other unload point. I think he's just slowing down because he's near a combine. And so I think as long as I'm unloading here as he comes to the end, he's going to pause for a moment. That's going to give me the opportunity to top myself off because I'm at 98% already here, so I know we'll get full. And now we just got to get out of the way before this combine tries to run us over. Good deal. And we'll just follow our buddy here back to the unload point. Alright, it looks like this guy in the lead has located the other grain cart and is unloading him successfully. So I'm super excited to see that that is going to be a thing. And it looks like that other grain cart held more than I expected, because we're already at almost 2,000 bushels, so that's pretty good. It looks like our auger is a little low there. We're gonna not drive off here right now and let him sort that out. Probably could have been a little bit farther away. We've known that now for next time. And so we're gonna get this 9RT out of the way. I am gonna go unload this here in just a couple minutes, but what I wanna do is grab this semi and now get the AutoDrive drivers going again on the normal course so that we can start filling up the silos again. I don't know that we're necessarily ready for that. I think we don't have more than maybe 2 trucks of capacity in the wet bins right now, but we are at that point where we don't have a whole lot of other places to put the corn. So unless we start bagging some more of it, this is where we're gonna head. All right, we got our grain carts emptied. Now we can finally take this big one over to the farm here and see what we can do to fill up the pig feed mixer. I'm really thinking that this is gonna top it off. I can't imagine that there's more than this much more corn that it can hold, so we'll see how this goes here momentarily. I'm kind of surprised our other semi isn't done unloading yet. Oh, speaking of, looks like he's done and pulling out. And so our combines seem to be all hung up. I suspect the lead combine got caught up to the rear combine and they're crashing into each other again right now. So we need to go sort that out. I think I emptied the grain carts in wrong order, but I want to just get this going here first. Get this over that, and then let's see what's going on over here. Oh, it's just a case of the combines not lining up super well, so we can stop the grain cart drivers, always the easiest to stop. I'll let that combine get going on his way. And now that he's going on his way, we can hit drive course, and he should figure out where he needs to be here any minute. And I just want to check on this lead combine here. It looks like they're doing their thing still. Everything's working. We're cranking out this harvest. It's amazing how much corn we're getting, but how fast we're going through the acres. And so this is moving across smoothly. And I just want to check the harvest map here. We do have these little bits that we missed, but the amount of corn left is actually dwindling pretty quickly here. And if we just take a quick look at the precision farming map and zoom in here, you can see this part is where we haven't harvested yet. And we're getting better harvests this year. See, it's slightly darker green across this band. And so this part will turn that darker green as we harvest it. And that is, I believe, a direct result of the lime that we did. Man, that corn just destroys the nitrogen level. But you can see here our pH levels are higher, and we've drained them a little bit here on this part of the harvest, but we'll probably only apply lime every few years because this small decrease in lime isn't going to affect our yield too much. And so this guy's already a third full. And he's only been out here for just a little bit. And then if we come back up here and check our other grain cart, I suspect that he's going to come in here and be unloading any moment. And yeah, he's already 26% full. So this is pretty cool. We forgot to put his cruise control up here, so we'll do that. He'll have an easier time keeping up now. And we're going to go back up here and see where we ended up with unloading this into the pig feed. Wow. So we were actually able to put that entire grain cart in here. We've got 138,000 liters of corn, so these things might hold 200. Seems plausible. So we could probably put at least one more of these in there. So that's a lot of corn. Definitely an option we're going to keep open for ourselves. And I think we'll let the grain bins get filled up here first, and then we'll take another load here. So I'm just going to park this over here, maybe a little bit out of the way, because I don't necessarily want any of our active courses to be running into this guy. But I think we'll fill up these two semis and let the grain bins get backed up here a bit before we try and move any of this grain over there. So we don't really need to touch anything here. I'm going to head back on up to the farm, and we've just got to keep moving this dry corn. I thought this was going to fill up the bag here, but it looks like we've got just a bit more to go. So we're going to put one more load in there to top that bag off, and then we're going to have to figure out how to get some of this corn out of these baggers, out of this trailer. We've just got a lot of cleanup that we're going to have to do here as we wrap up harvest. So this leaves us with about 100,000 left in wet capacity and 200,000 in dry capacity. So we've got a total of 300,000 liters of corn we can realistically put into that bin system, which is a little bit less than 3 of our trucks right now with, I think there are a little over 100,000 liter capacity. So we're going to keep topping this off. We've got to be almost done here, but I know we've got more than 3 trucks worth of corn left in this field. So yeah, we're going to probably end up putting one more bag out here at some point. I'm tempted to do that with the wet corn for the pig feed system, but we do have quite a bit of wet corn at this point. So if we look at our pigs, we're using 174,000 liters of food a year right now, although we're only at about half capacity. So if I double this, it'd be 300. So we only need 100,000 liters of corn a year, even at a higher level here. So each of these bags holds 200,000. So we've got 400,000 liters of pig feed corn sitting to the side here already. We probably don't need more than 2 bags of wet corn stored for the pigs, especially since we're filling up the feed mixer station as well. All right, so we have finally filled up this second bag with dry corn. And so at this point, I think we're going to go ahead and park this setup over here for the time being and call this an episode. We've definitely hit all the things that we wanted to hit, and we just hit the feeding system time at 1,300 hours here, so we're getting the capacity too large warning, which is totally fine. It means that we didn't have 2,000 liters worth of capacity we could put into here, and you'll notice these are still low because this feed mixer takes a little while to actually do its thing when the timer runs. So you can kind of hear the grain running into this tank here, and then after a few minutes it's going to start grinding that grain up actually. And so now you can kind of hear the kerchunk, kerchunk, kerchunk. And so that means it's actually pumping that out. And so you can see these values are starting to come up now, and we're going to top all of this food off now. We only got 2 warnings about the 2,000 feed, and that's for these bottom 2. The corn actually looks like it probably is going to take the full 2,000 and come up maybe a little bit short. I don't know how low it was before, but we'll definitely catch up at the other cycle because we'll be much lower after the night passes here. And so this is going to get us through the day for sure. It looks like it's going to top off about here though, so this is pretty cool. I like this feed system. We're definitely going to use this if we ever do hogs in the future. It's just really simple and straightforward, easy to use. So, and we have the added bonus of having taken even more material out of this bin, so we'll be able to put more in there when we get caught up here with our trucks. So with that, we're going to call it an episode here. Next episode, we will definitely finish off our corn harvest. So Thanks for watching. That's all for today. Ketterk out.